Hello, everyone, and welcome to our new podcast dedicated to positive parenting and child's development. I'm Magali Noth, head of the primary school at EB.
And I am Sarah Parks-Urbano, also known as Sparks, school counselor at the lower school at EB.
We are delighted to have you with us for this very first episode, where we will be laying the foundation for an essential topic, positive discipline. Whether you are a parent, a teacher, or an educator, our goal is to offer simple, practical, and realistic tools that can support you in everyday life. Before we start, we will take 3 collective breaths together, inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. We will use a chime that will help us to rhythm that practice. So let's start.
So we'll just go at our own pace, in through the nose and out through the mouth, just to kind of bring our hearts, our brains, our whole being to this moment.
I love to do that simple exercise because it helps me really to recenter and to feel present. And we do that a lot with the children also in our school. So I think it's a good practice to put in place.
Mm-hmm. And we do it together. Sometimes we'll be trying to meet to talk about something important or 1 or 2 or 3 things. And then when we finally sit down together, we say, oh, let's do our 3 deep breaths. And it just helps us to kind of let go of all the busyness, all the noise, everything outside, and just to come together where we can meet. And then I feel like our talking is just more productive, more calm, better. The time it takes, it pays off. It's worth more time.
I agree. We start also our leadership meetings like that. Also once a week, we always start with 3 deep breaths, and I think it's a very important practice. So thank you for doing that with us. You may hear sometimes also your children, asking you to take 3 deep breaths, and it's really, again, something that children are used to do in our school at this point.
Yes, we've even had a funny story where a mom said, her child said in the middle of a busy moment, a tense moment, hey, Mom, you really need to take 3 deep breaths. So we know it's working.
Great. So today we are going to explore positive discipline and why it can truly transform the relationship between adults and children. This approach was developed by Jane Nelson, and it's based on 2 key principles, which is kindness and firmness. And I think we will come back to that as it is the meat of positive discipline, I think. But we just wanted to give you a little background behind that Jane Nelson was very inspired by the approach of Alfred Adler, who was an Austrian psychologist who founded individual psychology, and his key ideas were focused on striving to welcome feelings of inferiority at the time, the importance of social connection, and how lifestyle and goals shape personality. So based on his research and his studies, I think it was in the 70s, right, Sparks, that Jane started to study Adler, and it was like, oh, I think I can do something with that, and started to create the concept of positive discipline.
Skinner, like she has not come to this easily. It's after a lot of studies and decades of research that led her to come up with these kind of simple but brilliant and challenging things that I welcome as a lifelong learner. I feel like I will always be practicing these things. I have kind of a an impulsive, fiery temper sometimes. So this has been huge for me to just begin this practice.
I think you and I, we struggled a little bit at the beginning with the concept of positive discipline, especially the word discipline, right? It kind of rubbed us a little bit in the wrong way, but we kind of overcame that while we were discussing and really understanding that discipline, it's more guiding, right? It's that guidance of our students or guidance of the children, or for us, even adults. We were reminded that discipline come at the beginning from disciple, and the disciples were guided by an idea or a thought. So that made us. I mean, we had a little bit of peace with that word, right? Because discipline can be a little bit old-fashioned and
Yes, and it still kind of makes my back go up, my shoulders get tight, which is an indication that I might have come from a household where there was one very strong disciplinarian.
Yeah.
And so that word, it goes deep. And when we're in our groups with parents, we have some turn and talk and exercises that really help people to think about how that makes them feel, because that's the beginning of this whole practice, is knowing how we as adults feel, how we are, checking in with ourselves, calming, slowing our breaths, and then that is backed up by all the science these days. So all of our combined decades of experience, this is the practice that we like the best. The one that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels very simple, and yet it's super complex because more we dive in and more we discover and start to think differently, and we quite often help each other and catch each other also in in our thought and one train of thought, and how we are influenced by our early experiences, right? And I think it's really. So the idea of positive discipline is really that the two concepts at the same time, which is like kindness and firmness at the same time, right? And we realize that some of us grew up either in a very strict environment where there was a lot of discipline, and some of us grew up in a very permissive environment. And so the positive discipline, what we realize, it's kind of that middle ground between that pendulum that goes either too permissive or too strict, and there is that middle ground which is like it's okay to be kind, but it's also okay to be firm. And so those two main points are kind of like the center of positive discipline.
And even that center can be a hard concept to understand in a profound way, because many of us grew up in a household where one parent was permissive and one parent was really strict. And then Dr. Nelson talks about the permissive parent will adapt and become even more permissive in response to the strict parent's strictness, who then might become more strict. So the pendulum is just swinging really hard from right to left, right through that balanced middle. So we kind of try to have that pendulum settling in that middle place where we're practicing. And also, we remind ourselves and parents, this is not a practice to make you feel bad. Like messing up is part of it. Growth mindset. We learn through making mistakes, and then even modeling that for students and children. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I got really frustrated, and I realize I'm really hungry, or I'm tired and hungry, or it cracks me up when parents teach their kids the concept of hangry. And then we're showing them how to how to emotionally regulate.
We really hope that it has sparked your curiosity and encouraged you to try a few small changes at home. We also wanted to let you know that you can participate in our live positive discipline sessions. They happen every first Friday of the month. So usually we have the first Friday coffee. And after that, at 9 a.m., we do our first Friday positive discipline parenting class. And this one, we explore all the topics. We sometimes experience a little bit. And it's a great moment for parents also to share ideas, thoughts, or things that have worked or did not work. And with that in mind, we also offer a third Friday of the month. It's also at 9 a.m., if I remember well.
9 to 10.
9 to 10, yes. And it's on some specific topics. So we have explored already food, I think, and
Yes.
how to support your children in trying different type of food.
Not getting into food battles. I think.
Exactly.
Yeah, that was
A big one.
a really big one.
Yeah.
I feel like we could have another one on that
Yeah.
because there were so many practical life situations
Yes.
people were bringing up. And
Yeah.
it was really wonderful to see our parent community sharing things that work, that don't work, and people just seeing the overall strong thing that I am not alone.
Yeah. The beauty in those classes and in those discussions is that everybody belongs to it and everybody can relate to it. And so there is a great sense of community also, as you said, that really highlight the fact that you are not alone or we are not alone. We go all of us through the same struggles. And some of us come out a little bit quicker than some others, but we learn new tricks, new ideas, new thoughts, and it's super helpful. So, if you can join us to one of those either class or meeting, that's great. We also have a book club that we offer. Sparks, do you want to talk a little bit about your book club?
Yes, that's a smaller, more intimate group. I'm actually really shy, Magali, and I have to work through that to do these groups because I'm so moved by the wonderful content and wanting to share that with people because as a parent, I was so isolated and my partner traveled all the time and I looked like this little toddler, at times.
Full of tears and no turn to.
It was difficult for me. So it means a lot to me because I know some of the parents that need it the most aren't able to come because they're so busy.
Yeah.
And the book group is wonderful because we're able to go more in depth and it's smaller. So we've got these 3 opportunities a month to come together with other parents and to learn and practice new skills and just whatever we end up talking about sometimes. So we'll meet, I think, on January 28th, Wednesday, here in this room, the conference room.
At what time?
After drop-off.
Okay.
Gently 8:30-ish.
Okay. With the coffee.
Little coffee, little croissants, so you can just come and have a moment. And
great.
Yeah, I would love to see you there. And also, please email me if you're a parent who has listened this far, if you're still with us and you have any specific little question you just want to or scenario you just want to bounce off someone or brainstorm a little bit. I love doing that. So please reach out.
Sparks@eb.org.
SPARKS.
Okay, so I think we are getting to the end of our first podcast. We want to thank you for listening to this first episode on positive discipline. You can also leave us a comment or a question. And, feel free to share this episode with other parents or friends. That would be great. In the meantime, Know that you are not alone. We are all here, and just take care of yourself.
Thank you, Magali.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.